Good afternoon and welcome to Kaftan TV. Yes, this is where we keep you up to date on happenings around the world. And the program this afternoon is the Polity. The Polity is where we discuss issues that affect us as a nation, issues germane to the polity, issues germane to our existence as a nation, burning issues that require urgent attention of those at the helms of affairs, and issues that gives members of the public, opportunity to participate in the affairs of governance, in the affairs of the economy, and in the affairs of our social interactions as a people. Today, we shall be discussing insecurity. Yes, insecurity that makes many of us afraid, fearful, and asking, how did Nigeria get to this level? And what are those things that we should be doing to get out, to find our way to return, to restore Nigeria to the path of peace, and to restore Nigerians to the path of unity. That's our topic today. My name is Segun Ojelade, and I have with me in the studio two eminent gentlemen. I have on my right Alhaji Habib Gajo. Alhaji Habib Gajo is a regular face on Kaftan TV and a public affairs commentator. I welcome you to the program, Alhaji.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
On his own right now, and on my own far right, is another very popular face. He is in fact our in-house analyst. I welcome Stephen Oforom to the program.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Segun.
Yeah. Like I said, we shall be talking insecurity. And as we couched it, insecurity, why has the problem remained intractable? Yes, it is a wound that has festered for so long. And many people believe that like they say, a stitch in time saves nine. If we had been proactive in tackling it since over 12 years when it started, it wouldn't have gotten to this level. And again, if our governments since the past 12 years have been so decisive, things will not have gotten to this level. And how about our military? If the military had been effectively empowered and then given the right command, because that's also very important, this problem will not have festered for this long. It is now a wound, a sore, that is in a very bad state. And every one of us, all hands, as they say, must now be on deck for us to get out of this quagmire. Once again, welcome to Kaftan TV. Welcome to the Polity this afternoon. Now, let's start. Alhaji Habib Gajo,
Yes.
if I may ask you, how did we get to this level? How did we find ourselves in this kind of very, very terrible, dicey situation?
Yeah, thank you very much for discussion. You know, many Nigerians don't know there is a historical
Perspective.
Background that attached to our political, economic, and insecurity in Nigeria for long decades. You understand? Despite during the military, we have witnessed this ethno-religious crisis in southern Kaduna, Zangon Kataf, that involved some Zamani Lokot and some generals and clergy leaders. After that was 1987, 88 to 90. At the tail end of the military government, we have another crisis that erupted in the same southern Kaduna and some part of Plateau, where today you have Kaduna is somehow divided. There is areas of Muslims, there is areas of Christians. You understand? So when the military ended their regime, they ended their regime with bad economic security and political, diplomatic problems. You understand? So those are they have accumulated. And when the military, when the civilian government of Olusegun Obasanjo came, trying to negotiate and navigate through the international community to see how we can get a peaceful security and economic one, and some sanctions being lifted against Nigeria, because as we speak up till today, the arms they are selling to our security agencies are defensive arms, they are not offensive arms. You understand? So in trying to do that, Obasanjo agreed to some certain agreements that did not favor Nigeria, which then the Nigerian military stood against that policy of bringing American soldiers either by AFRICOM or by AFRICOMMAND. You understand?
AFRICOMMAND, yes.
Yes. So I think General Malu stood against that. ECOMOG was also agreed to be disbanded, and when ECOMOG was disbanded, Nigerian security became porous and vulnerable. You understand? Through our borders, internally and otherwise. So that compromises the political situation of Nigeria and the political economy and international relation and diplomacy was all affected, because Nigeria was giant of Africa. Nigeria was superheading the ECOMOG group. Nigeria was at the forefront of international United Nations peacekeeping operations. You understand? Out of 60 operations, Nigeria participated successfully to over 50 of them. You understand? It is a record. So it has compromised that. You understand? So now that we have enemies within who want to see the downfall of Nigeria,
destabilize the country.
Yes, and the pillars that Nigeria is resting on has been collapsed. So
seriously compromised.
So it's seriously compromised. That's how we now start having internal terrorists and external terrorists. There is funding, training, and arming those terrorists by international communities as so suspected, as we see, as we witness. You understand? We witness the bringing back of Chibok girls by international organization. We had long-standing crisis with USAID, USAID, with the leadership of General Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff. You understand, for not allowing Nigerian security to search their convoys of trucks and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, American senator confessed that or blow the whistle that those organizations are sponsoring terrorism, and Nigeria, Boko Haram is one of them. Now we have another situation. I will blame the politicians, because anytime election is close or election season, you will start having this crisis.
Yes.
So those who are aiding that crisis are meant to be benefiting from that crisis.
Yes. Thank you, Alhaji, for that elaborate analysis. And you have thrown up a number of issues that we shall be looking at one by one in the course of this program. Now, Stephen, if I can get your own perspective.
All right.
We get here?
Yeah, he has already, he really made an elaborate background about that. But from my own experience as a history student, there are other angles that I have seen, one of them constitutional, one of them international, because what I have realized over the years is that what is not yours and is given to you, to use it as if it's your own, you may not know what are the inputs that you will touch something and there will be a negative reaction because it's not yours, but it was given to you to use. So that is what has happened in terms of the way things are done in Nigeria. What am I talking about? I'm trying to say that there is an international interest. When Nigeria got independence, when the process of our constitutional build-up, you'll see that someone who is giving you something to use will always fix his interest there. Now, the way the things that are imbibed in that constitution, the other day we were discussing about, there was an elite discussion, and we are talking about citizenship and indigenship. In Nigeria, what we practice is indigenship, but in our constitution is citizenship. So anywhere you are, you're a Nigerian. You will see that that was copied from the American constitution, or the American pattern of presidential system of government. But, and we know it's good, and we are holding it, we are trying to push it, but you see it's impossible, almost impossible. So in the way things are run, in the way we configure the things we use for our own administration, you see foreign hand in it. And inside that foreign hand, you see foreign interest. So most of the times there will be an agreement. Within Nigeria, we may not have had problem initially. We will always agree, because if I tell you the truth, it's very glaring and we accept it. But you see an international advice. Do it this way, do it this way, this way. And when you do it, you see that it's not just for you. It has their own interest in be embedded in it. And by the time you continue, they will keep manipulating. That was why what Arudin said, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. Because if there was no colonialism, Africa would have developed on its own, with its own cultural, because for instance, you see our legal practice. A judge, he went to school, he studied, and now he's a judge. But in the villages in those days, you see the elderly, they will gather, and there will be an issue. They will still bring out justice. They didn't go to school.
Resolve it.
They will resolve it, and they will give you justice. They didn't go to school. So we would have developed on our own, using our own cultural practice. But most of the things we use are imported. Now, the issue of
insecurity.
No, not insecurity, indigenship and citizenship. Indigenship is always easy to apply. When you go to a place, the constitution says if an Igbo man goes to Lagos, Lagos is your home. If you have stayed there for certain years, you are entitled
to this, you're entitled to that.
Entitled to all those things. But by our own cultural background, it's not obtainable, and we don't want to accept it. We don't want to see it. You want to claim your right, but still, the indigenous will tell you that it's not that way. They will implement it.
Okay.
And Nigeria is a multicultural society.
Yes.
In a situation where there is a multicultural society, a multicultural background, if you really want to avoid insecurity, if you really want to do some certain things, you must put those cultures into consideration. Otherwise, they will generate a problem. We always said is it diversity in unity in
Unity in
diversity, that
diversity.
those things are our strength.
Yes.
That's an error. For me, it's an error. They are not our strength, they are our weakness, because we are not handling it very well.
Okay. I think I'm inclined to agree with the two of you in the fact that Yorubas will say that even the snake has a hand. So that we can see the hand of the international community in what we are going through now. They are always interested in what happens in Nigeria, even before independence. When they were going, like you said, they embedded some things either in our constitution or in our head about certain things which are to their own advantage. I think the seed of disunity was probably sown by them.
Exactly, I agree.
To a very large extent, Nigerians don't worry about themselves. It is when it comes to sharing of national cake, national office, national this, national that we begin to see ourselves as Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. And if you go up north, that's when you have Hausa Fulani. That's when you now have the middle belters. So we have a very loose relationship among ourselves. Nigerians are not united. We still have problem of unity among us. And then our enemies, whoever they are, they played on this. They played on the disunity among Nigerians. That's why it is very easy for somebody to say, this problem that you guys are having, it is because the Muslims are killing Christians. That's why you have this problem. But we at home, we know that the problem is beyond Muslims killing Christians. When the AK-47 is fired, it doesn't begin to look for Christians, doesn't begin to look for Muslims. It kills anybody in its way. And that's what we have seen with Nigeria's insurgents. But those who don't like us, we say that it is Gajo that is shooting arrow to Oforom, or Oforom is shooting arrow to... And that kind of line of thought resonates with us as Nigerians because we do not like ourselves. Because in our mind, we are disunited. We are not united. So anything anybody comes around to say about your brother makes a lot of sense, especially if it's against him. So I think the international community, they are doing a lot to ensure that this problem continues to fester. You mentioned the issue of supplying arms and ammunition to them. Of course, we have had stories like that. So I think I'm inclined to agree with it. Permit me for taking over the program even as a moderator. Now, I want to say, Gajo, look at how far the problem has gotten. What is really fueling it now? We know how it all started. And all of a sudden, there was a time that government was saying we have decimated the insurgents, we have reduced them to barest minimum. They cannot attack high-profile places. They are just it is soft places that they now go. All of a sudden, the whole thing almost started to begin to escalate again. What is fueling it?
Honestly, by understanding or by all standard of
analysis,
security analysis shows that it's politically motivated. Whether we like it or not, politics is being played with our national security. I do quite agree with some points or some issues, but some I think they are fictionals. You see, in Nigeria we have multiculturalism, multinationalism, and also multi-religionism. But those who are hell-bent on being expansionists, one creating most of the crisis even before in the pre-independence and post-independence, like Steve have alluded, but quite sure so many things happened. But what happened is not what we would like to discuss today. You understand? After 1966 coup, counter coup, after coup, civil war, and so on. So you see, from the beginning, is a political crisis that led to all those things. So that is why I say it's politically motivated. Secondly, in 1999 to date, most of the things that happen, you see, is also politically motivated. Some parties want to state capture. Some parties want to
capture at the national level.
National level, and so on and so forth. If you take, I always give example of how President Jonathan allowed other opposition parties to melt into PDP. You understand? Before they now resurrect and start putting alliance with APC. You understand? AMPP is gone. ABGA is gone. CPC is gone. ACN is gone. Because most of them, the camp PDP under Jonathan was having over 82, 83 senators, which is two-third majority, having over 300 and something, 200 and something out of 350, which is also a two-third majority. You understand? So the control then and the way international community perceive that one-party situation that led to the government of President Barack Obama and the Secretary of State then John Kerry to see that no, Nigeria is potentially drifting into a dictatorship or an anarchy or totalitarian. You understand? But we have seen how Boko Haram was brought back. You understand? And we have seen how they bombed the police headquarters, the United Nations House,
and some high-profile places,
and some high-profile and business places, including Barnett's Plaza, and so many places. You understand? We have seen how they are bombing Kaduna, bombing Kano, bombing. You understand, inside the city, in order to bring down the government of Jonathan, and which they succeeded. In all the negotiation and discussions, conferences, and bringing religious and ethnic leaders to see how these boys are being curtailed. But the opposition played a critical role then. Yes. They even traveled to United States of America to send their grievances. And today history is repeating itself. You understand? So definitely something needs to be done. Look at in the northern Nigeria, 19 northern state governors has failed to attend the anniversary of Arewa Consultative Forum 25 years anniversary. None of the northern governors attended. But the former president Yakubu Gowon was there, Dangote was there, so many intellectuals.
Those are non-state actors.
Yes, but where are the governors? And up till today, the governors did not have a press conference to tell us why this thing is happening. What measures are they taking? You understand? Or how are they going to save these girls? And how are they going to stop these attacks or curtail these attacks? For example, let me give you a short analysis so that our viewers will understand. It started from Kebbi State. Kebbi State has a border with Zamfara. You understand? Kebbi State also has a border with Kwara State. And Kebbi State also has a border with Niger State. So combine them together. If these governors...
That is a hotbed.
If these governors are together, you understand, they are working together. You understand? Or they are fighting they are fighting insecurity. We will now have a cooperation of, look, my
very powerful force.
Yes, we have seen
government.
movement of suspected people. You understand? Either in hillocks, or in bikes,
yes,
or in donkeys, or in horses, or in camel, moving toward this your state. You understand? So that governor will now send enforcement, you understand, to go and block them there. And the same, for example, from Kwara to Niger, from Niger to Kebbi,
yes,
from Kebbi to Zamfara,
yes.
you understand? So when you cordon all those border areas, you understand, definitely you will be able to make some arrests, and you will be able to make
you will even be able to send a signal
yes,
to the terrorists.
Yes, and save and save some girls. You understand?
Yes.
But the main issue that I'm making always, that if these 19 state governors, you understand,
are proactive,
can work together, just only for security of 19 northern states. Remove the economic trade and so on. Just for security, secure your borders from every angle. Communicate.
Okay.
So suspected people are approaching this area. So suspected people are approaching. The people who are approaching this area, we didn't recognize them.
Yes.
You understand? So, or we have identified them as members of Boko Haram, or as members of ISWAP, or as members of Bandit. You understand? Or those guys, headsmen, or kidnappers. You understand? So every state governor will now secure its borders.
Okay. Now, thank you very much for another very elaborate analysis. He has alleged that, or is laying part of the blame on the governors. I was reading something yesterday. It said federal allocation is burgeoning, is increasing to the states. Yes, it is at that time that insecurity in the land is increasing. That the public should put attention on the governors to buttress what Gajo is saying. Do you believe that the governors, for instance, aren't doing enough? You know, all the time we are crying Tinubu. Yet governors are the chief security officers of their state with enormous resources today.
I will even say the governors are more powerful than the president, because if they team up,
they are 37.
Yes. If they team up, the president will not survive. He won't win the second election. That's even one of the reasons why I would say the local government is not functioning. Because if they function and they don't like the governor, they can put the governor out. So the governors have a lot to do in terms of our security system. But what I've realized, or what I feel, is that there is a vested interest, and that interest determines who becomes the governor of a particular state. So if there is an agenda, and you want to push it, especially national agenda, from maybe a particular region, or a particular interest from a particular side, you understand, and you want someone who will champion that interest or who will push that interest for your own, that affects who you appoint or who you bring out as your governor. And when he comes in, the main thing, which is the public good, he's supposed to foster, will be relegated. He will now be more interested in trying to achieve that agenda. I think that is what is derailing the system. The way our government handle issues, the way the governors obey who puts them, their godfathers. Even sometimes you know that the president is not your friend, you don't like him, but because you want to win second tenure, you have to align with the president, even if you are not in his party. So the governors actually, if all things being equal, the governors will do their work and achieve the aim of securing the country. Like he mentioned, if there is that communication among all of them, the movement of people perpetrating insecurity can be monitored and tracked, and everything will be in order. But because every governor, either from the south, west, or east, has a particular thing he is more interested in than the general good, if you're talking about those things that will make things good, you'll be saying another thing.
Thank you.
And secondly, if you look the way the governors the way the governors handle issues, it is more of propaganda than doing the real thing. There are root causes to insecurity. There are things that are causing this insecurity. But when they want to tackle it, you will see that they will not start uprooting those things that are causing insecurity, which we know many of them. But you will see them trying to just cut it from the middle. And by cutting it from the middle, many people will be offended and they will march on toes of society, and those people will be aggrieved.
Okay, I think I want to equally agree with you. What I see in all this, yes, the governors can do a lot in tackling insecurity in the land. If the governors decided, and if they are determined, we can win this war, because it is war. We can win this war in 3 months. But you see, it will be very difficult for the governors to be as decisive as they should be, even with the enormous resources at their disposal, even with the enormous political powers they have, and even with the intelligence of some of them. Don't forget, Zulum is a prof. There are so many of them. They are all professionals in their rights. So they are intelligent human beings. So they know. And even with all the intelligence at their disposal, I think it is the intelligence at their disposal that is the problem. It is the intelligence. Because if you see, you say, if you keep knocking on the devil's door, if you are persistent, somebody will answer you. It is the person that will answer you sometimes that is that you have to be afraid of. When you dig very well, you will see what will frighten you. I think the governors, even at the level of Mr. President, they have intelligence at their hands that they need to tread very softly. This is something that has entered into very, very dangerous part of the body. For you to remove it, you must apply wisdom. This is an ailment that is very close to your heart now. You want to uproot it. Maybe some of those that are behind this thing are financiers of these governors. Somebody that are paid for their electioneering. Somebody that they defer to. Then you open the door and you see your godfather there and say, ah, even you, Oga. So you have to tread very softly. So at some point, you must apply wisdom. You can have the gun, you can have the firepower, but there is no way that you want to begin to deal decisively with these people, that you not talk about where they get their money, where they get their funding, why are they doing what they are doing, who started it, for what reason. Even those on the streets, they know some of these issues. But again, Nigeria must be saved. This country must be saved, irrespective of whose hawks is God. It is now the person that will do it, and how the person will do it, that is the problem for every one of us now.
Yes, you see, that is why I said it's politically motivated and is going to be ended politically. My reasons are like this, as follows, you understand. First of all, when campaign started, all these criminals groups, terrorist groups, kidnappers and this, all of them will disappear till after the election. After election have been announced, after the president is being sworn in, governors have been sworn in, National Assembly have been sworn in, then you will now start hearing about insecurity, attacks here, attacks there. That's one example. Secondly, any state that is having, or if where INEC is having, or Nigeria is having off-seasonal elections, the atmosphere is calm. If we are having local government election, the atmosphere is calm. You understand? I will cite Rivers as an example. When we have tension in local government election in Rivers, you know who is causing it. You understand? It's very clear because there is no governor. It was sole administrator. So definitely politics is behind all this. Yes, you understand. So it will take a political will, you understand, to end this insecurity. I don't know if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working on something, or as we assume or as we see, maybe he is reluctant like President Jonathan, or he look weak like President Jonathan. I think he should wake up now, you understand, and take charge and be a commander-in-chief and use every measures, you understand. I don't like that word stick and carrot approach. You understand? I like direct approach. You understand? Just fight them, finish them, because they are terrorists, they are taking human lives, they are destroying lives, they are destroying property, they are destroying children, they are destroying so many things, so destroy them. You understand? There is nothing like amnesty, there is nothing like negotiating with bandits, there is nothing like disarming them or doing that. From the beginning, just hit them hard. Okay. That's what President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua did in the first place before they ran and cried that why are you killing our people? He said, why are you also killing innocent people and taking our expatriate and blowing our pipes? So if you want anything, you can stop it, then you forward your grievances, then we'll look at it. You understand? And that's exactly what happened. So these people need to be hit hard. I know they don't have any genuine reasons they will table, and I believe nobody will come for them that stop. You are killing our people, or we can discuss. These are not our people.
Okay.
You understand? These are not. Look at, you see, if you see the way Nigerian dress, you know it's a Nigerian. If you see Nigerian speaking, you know this is a Nigerian language or Nigerian accent. You understand? If you see the behavior of a non-Nigerian you can identify all over the world. If me and Steve meet in America or UK or France, we will be able to understand
and recognize ourselves that this is my
even
brother.
if we did not talk, by the way he entered and did some 1 or 2 moves, I would say, this guy is a Nigerian.
This is my
And
brother.
if you see me doing something, you will say, no, this guy is a Nigerian, without even knowing me. So that's how it is. So these people are not Nigerians. Very clearly, very openly. So why are you afraid of international community who want to destroy your political, your security and economic progress? You understand? And put you in a political dangerous path where you hate each other. You understand? For example, from what we are seeing from American diplomat, from American president, definitely is hatred against against Africa,
us,
against our economy, against our progress. Let me please just. I don't know whether I will take
no, please continue.
One of your time.
No,
but just in brief, from 2008 to date, all the agreement, all the economic and bilateral agreement that Nigeria signed with the United States of America has collapsed. All what we agree and what we understood that this is what joined us together as an allies economically, politically, and security-wise has been taken away by America. So Nigeria was left alone, rambling, thinking that America will help, America will assist. Unfortunately for us, before we realized, France came in and now became another friend to Nigeria. Security, while we don't have any security agreement or with France, you understand? All of a sudden, China came in, you understand? And now, most of Nigerian businesses are heading to China. You understand? We have currency swap that America said they disagree with President Muhammadu Buhari. Now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu allowed the central bank to implement it, and Nigeria and China officially are doing currency swap by trade. You understand? In oil and gas. You understand? We have Dangote refinery that is also doing transaction with India and paying with Naira. You understand? So you see, the economy is growing. We have Elon Musk that America said we must cancel that agreement with Tesla. You understand? We have a Warri refinery that was given awarded the almost concession by Chinese. We have a lithium factory where Dangote and Chinese will refine it. So all these businesses are going out of America. You understand? Dollar is going down in Nigeria. And America will fight to the last blood to defend the dollar.
And America says they want to establish, they want to come and help us fight insurgency. And they now want to set up their military base in Port Harcourt. So and the government says no.
You see, definitely they are not. So even during Jonathan, when Boko Haram girls, when Chibok girls were taken away, were kidnapped, when American came, the base in Calabar until the Jonathan government said, no, this is not where we want to. We want you in Sambisa, we want you in Borno State. And they left, you understand?
They you see, that was why we said
they always come for our resources,
our progress, and our resolve. You know, these international bodies and governments don't want us to think independently of them. You know, they want us to be subservient to them. as if we are still talking slavery. And the reason for that is our resources, our enormous resources. They want to sit on it.
Yes.
And then ship it raw to develop their own industries.
Yes.
How many industries in US have died, collapsed as a result
and another threat, they have seen Nigeria sliding gradually into BRICS.
Yes.
And becoming, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, Nigeria will be a full member
of the BRICS.
Is another threat.
Yes.
Because of our population,
yes.
because of our resources,
yes.
because of our
industries,
I think oil and gas.
I'm coming to. I think the progress that we have made, 2 issues have really dealt a very deadly blow to America. That is our alignment with China.
Yes.
Nigeria and China were doing a lot together. US will have loved to be the one at the driver's seat in that kind of relationship. They will have wanted it to be them. You know? And you do not trade with America and they record any form of success. All the trade that we've been doing with them has been to our disadvantage, both in terms of the money and in terms of the capacity. They take the raw material they prefer us to export our farm produce, our mineral resources, take it raw to them, and then they bring us finished goods. Tell Tesla to come and establish the lithium factory in Nigeria. They said no. They want to ship it to America, develop their own American economy, while they punch holes in our land as a result of mining activities.
It was Britain that started that.
And government said no. You know, it is when we begin to have a government that can look at them and tell them that this is what we want. Over the years, because of the aid that they've been giving us that never developed this country, aid cannot develop any nation.
Yeah. Who fits you controls you.
Yes. So so it is when you begin to realize that you can't continue to be their slave. Of course, the slave master will not allow the slave to get his freedom easily.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, but this problem is now entrenched. Every day now, Nigerians are saying terrorists are in our forests. That they are, in fact, they say they are everywhere in the forest, in the southwest, in the southeast. Just last week, the Cross River State government Cross River State government banned these grazing routes that they suspected that they were using it to bring in arms and to infiltrate into the deepest recesses of their forests and villages. So they are everywhere now. How should Nigerians react to this problem? Because we must not wait until this problem snowballs into a major mayhem where Nigeria or Nigerians are attacked from all fronts. Because from what we are hearing, no intelligence, no military intelligence whatsoever, but from what we are hearing from people say in their various communities that these terrorists are everywhere in the country today. So
exactly. Nigerians, we have already been surrounded by terrorists. I think this recent insecurity we started with herdsmen moving around Nigeria. That's why initially we are talking about indigenship and citizenship. You see, there are some things that have given them that platform to move from one place to another to do grazing. And we are talking about multiculturalism. If every culture or most cultures in Nigeria, we rear animal. It may not be cow, but we have goats, we have chicken that we rear, the local ones. And we know how we rear them in our place. we put them in a confined place, and even when we allow them to go out, in the evening, all of them will come back to the house, and people we are surviving with those. Now, you don't want to allow ranching, and in my place we don't graze, we don't move around to graze, and you now come in, you want to graze in my land, and we are talking about, I don't even know why it's now Nigeria has not instituted ranching. We are still allowing open grazing. That is the danger, and that shows you that a lot of things are not being done correctly. There was issue we are talking about, you raised initially about...
Stephen, please permit me. You will continue with your line of thoughts. But we've done some 1 hour on this program, and we have not rested our mouths. Let's take a short break.
All right.
We'll be right back. Well, it's good to be back on the program, The Polity. We're discussing insecurity in Nigeria, looking at why has it not been possible for Nigeria in the past over 12 years to get to the root of the problem and to uproot it once and for all. But what we have now is that insecurity challenges are increasing every day, and it's like nobody knows what will happen tomorrow, and we're all calling on government to take very decisive action, to have the political will to deal with the problem. Now, before we went on that short break, Stephen, from our in-house analyst, was making some point about open grazing, which many believe allow the terrorists to move into the hinterland, pretending to be doing open grazing, which very many people believe has allowed the problem of insecurity to increase, to fester. All
right. Like I was saying, till now we've not even discussed enough about ranching. What worries me most is how some state actors support that open grazing there's nothing wrong with it. I saw someone I respect so much when in the FCT you see at the roundabouts, you see those blockades that Wike is putting. Someone said that Wike was doing those things just to stop the herdsmen from grazing. I was so marveled. I was so surprised to
How
hear.
do you graze on a tarred road?
On the third road now, then when you come to where there are grasses, you just enter around the roundabout, around the bridges.
Even in front of Kaftan
our flower here.
You see cow dung.
They'll be feeding on the flowers.
Please continue.
And we feel they feel that those things are supposed to be like that. If you go to countries like Mexico, Mexico is even far. Kenya, here, they have cows, they have cattle, and the way they even use
more energetic than us.
Energetic. If you go to secondary schools, to universities, they have cows, and during breakfast and lunch they use milk as food. You understand? And not just that they are grazing openly, they are destroying crops. Is it only milk and meat that we are going to eat? If we really want to do something that will benefit the country, is it not better we arrange both farm crops and animals? But we are not doing that. But there was an issue you raised before, that when during elections or during campaigns, you see someone talking passionately. I always want to use Peter Obi as an example. I will put people out of poverty, I will do this, I will do that. They say it, you believe it. President Bola Tinubu, I played the videos recently where his vice, Kashin Shettima, was like, President Tinubu will concentrate on the economy. He built the Lagos economy, but he himself will say, because of his 20 years or how many years experience in handling security, that he focus on security and everything will be in order. And when you hear that, what is happening now? now handle the security. And there are a lot of fishy things to hear about. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Maybe there is something there when you are someone who has good intention on what you want to do. But by the time you enter, it's like something dictates for you, don't do this. If you do this, this will happen. You were making such points before. You now start moderating yourself. But in such situation, if you have the political will, Mayoga was saying, if you have political, you don't negotiate with terrorists.
Okay.
If you negotiate with terrorists, it will backfire. But if you have the political will to do that, what's the need for strategy?
Okay. Thank you, you see, brother. Before you make your point, but let me just say one or two sentences. See, I said something the other time. By the time you get to that office, by the time you get there is something they call security briefing. Yeah? There are files, there are things that will necessarily come to you as the chief executive. For instance, Mr. President now, if you know what Mr. President knows about Nigeria, no, we're not talking about when he was governor of Lagos State. If you know what he knows now, today, as the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you yourself, you will think twice, honestly. Because there are some very deep things that will be open to you, that you will see, that you yourself, if you do not have the heart, you will say, why did I take this job? You begin to moderate.
President Buhari said it,
yes,
that he came with a lot of enthusiasm and people believed in him, both Christians and Muslims.
Yes.
And he came and said that you cannot change Nigeria, you can only try. I was surprised to hear that.
Alhaji Gajo, you want to make a point?
Yes, I want to correct the impression of headsmen and grassy roots. You understand? Those headers and their roots are not any threat to national security or internal security or creating any security challenges. First of all, if you know how arms are being transported, they are not by cows, they are not a load that somebody will carry from border to other place without being seen or without being traced.
Detected.
You see, there is airstrips, there is helicopters that they use, you understand, in transporting those arms, you understand.
We've seen some of the videos.
Yes, and there is private jets and helicopters that also came every week to take our raw materials, you understand, our gold, our lithium, our mostly gold, you understand.
Especially in territories controlled by the terrorists.
And they fly out, you understand. So, if a headsman holding a stick and
AK-47
cutlass, no, AK-47 is not a Nigerian Fulani that holds AK-47. I challenge anybody in this world. You understand? Is foreign cattle headers who travel within the continent, you understand?
Yes.
And they enter Nigeria through the ECOWAS Charter of Trade, and you understand?
Yes.
That they are just passing, you understand? But our headsmen, the Fulani headsmen in Nigeria, are not carrying AK-47.
Okay.
And anybody that has that, please, should bring it forward so that security agencies will investigate. Secondly, those grazing routes that we are talking, that we have seen, you said from the history, you understand? From the history, the white man that came to colonize us, they took over, they came through this grazing route. So our roads, our national road, interstate roads, you understand, and our railway are a grazing route. That is why after the before the independence and after the independence, that the northern region said, no, you can't take our grazing routes and we have to do what they call ruga and grazing areas, and where streams are, they will go and take those streams. It has been done during the 60s before the military intervention. So those are the things to those are the things that need to be clarified. Okay. Let the government, you understand, invest in farming and livestock farming, you understand, whether it is ranching or no ranching. Yes. You see, there is a lot of argument with that ranching. Today, if you said you are not an indigenous of a state, or you are not a tribal of that state, when you go to do your own ranching, whether it's a business incorporated or not, they will say no. They will not agree. You understand? But some will go to another area and set up a business and move and do it very well. So why are you segregating, or why are you pushing the Fulanis, and you come and blame them? That stereotyping should be quote unquote removed from our
I think we have
media in order to have unity.
Yes, we are going to have another program where we talk about grazing, ranching, and what's the other one? But today we are discussing insecurity and how Nigerians can, how we can help the government. You know that for some time now we've been talking about the traditional rulers making the issue of security, making it local, ensuring that the local communities participate in information gathering, for instance, intelligence, helping the military or the government to be the eye of the community, where you'll be able to identify strange movement in your area. From the way things are today, is it safe even for members of the community to be the eye of the military in a situation where maybe your neighbor will be the one to go and tell the terrorists that you were the one that leaked their story, and they will now come back? By that time, the military will have left. It is now left with you and your family alone. You know, is it safe? Is it safe for Nigerians to actually participate in the fight against terrorism when you do not have guns?
Please, just one second, Shogun. When the Department of State Security leaked the information of those terrorists that took KB.
The students.
Yes. Well, what happened to them? What happened to the DSS? Nothing. You see, people are just alluding things that are not real. You understand? Ordinary citizen will just give an information. Look, sorry, I know it's your time. There is somebody in Niger State around Kontagora who saw the movement of those bandits on bike, and he videotaped them and mentioned some certain villages, saying that in the next 24 hours, those villages will be in danger. Unknown to them, unknown to the man that videoed them, they are going to pick girls in
that college,
Catholic church school. So you see how information he posted it. He posted it on social media. So there is information from within, and there is information from the security agencies, but nothing has been done. That is why I said unapologetically is politically motivated.
Okay. Yeah, there's an adage that says, God for us all, every man for himself, or every man for himself, God for us all. Most times, we even see people perpetrating evil because it's not you or it's not someone related to you, you just walk and pass. I've seen a situation whereby someone is collecting someone's bag, the person just walked out from the bank, and cars were passing on a bike. They just drag it. People were just passing. The guy dragged the bag and ran away. And people were using cars that can run faster than the bike. Everybody just moved. It has come to that in Nigeria that most times we feel unconcerned because we think it will affect our own security. Now, everywhere has been infiltrated with something you cannot trust. Even the military has been infiltrated so badly to the extent you see someone on uniform talking about negotiating with terrorists. And when those things happen, you'll feel, how can you be safe? Even among the military, you will see that they will have some secrets and it will filter out.
We have just 5 minutes to go on this program.
All right.
If you have the ears of the military, or even Mr. President, what will you tell him to do in the before now and Christmas?
Better, because I don't want to have the ears of the military. I prefer to have the ears of
Mr. President,
of the commander-in-chief, of their own commander.
Yes.
You understand? I would like to advise the commander-in-chief to allow the military, or to give the military or the security agencies orders that no fear, no mercy. Anybody who is a terrorist, or look like a terrorist, or speak like a terrorist, or act like a terrorist, or behave like a terrorist, take him off.
Or support the terrorist.
Or support the terrorist. Take him off.
Or take him out.
Take him out. Take him out and take him off. Which one is more dangerous?
Take out is to
remove him.
You understand?
Remove him.
You understand? So, dealt with insecurity issue decisively. Take a decisive action. No compromise. Go and borrow the glasses, the goggles of General Sani Abacha. You understand? You don't see anybody and nobody sees your eyes.
Thank you.
You understand?
Thank you.
Hit them hard.
Thank you.
Hit them where it will pain them.
In fact, in the wild, wild west of the US, they say hang them high. Thank you very much. I don't want you to go against what he has said. But yes, because that must be our consensus on this program.
Okay.
But do you think the Nigerian military has the capacity to face the terrorists?
That is where my concern is. Technologically, they are not there. If you see the arms these guys are using, some of them are more sophisticated than the ones the military. The airspace is there for them to use and finish these guys up, but you don't see it happening that way, as if it's the pattern that everything has been built. What I'm trying to say is this: technologically, they should be enhanced.
Okay, thank you. Now, I think I'm inclined to agree with the two of them. What Alhaji Gajo said should be the right action Nigeria must take. You don't negotiate with terrorists. Even those that are coming from outside to come and help us, they do not negotiate with terrorists. It is to finish them. Now, but how do you go into battle with people that you cannot see? The other day we had some people talking that the terrorists are inside the mountainous part of this country, that is hard to reach. Such narrative should not be coming.
Where Nigerian military, where are they trained? If the mountainous
yes, with the technology that is available. With the technology that's so, if the Nigerian military is deficient in technology, I think the government should invest and provide everything they need so that we can check this. This is the right time to do it because Nigeria has money now. We have money. It is not in those days that we were spending huge money on on what were we wasting money on that Tinubu stopped?
Subsidy.
Subsidy. We were wasting money on subsidy. We now have enough money to fight terrorists. Maybe we cut some from what we are giving the states. What goes into the hands of the governors that they are wasting away. We should cut from them and then invest in the military so that we can finish these terrorists on time. Well, this is where we call it a date on this program, the polity for this afternoon. I want to thank Alhaji Habib Gajo for all that you have said on this program.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. And then my brother, I got to drag him on this program even at the last minute. He has so much on his hands. But I want to thank you for sharing your time with us on the program today.
Thank you very much.
And for all my brothers and sisters at the end, other end of the studio, thank you, especially Divine, for your efforts today. Until we come your way with yet another edition of The Polity, that will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. But join me at 8 p.m. For Matters Arising. Good afternoon. I am Shegun Ojelade.